Hey everybody, Aaron Count, Sage Dynamics, and this is the Angstadt Arms MDP9. I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong. That's okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. The imperfections of the human language, right? Well, the English language anyway. What we have, and what was released to some great fanfare and excitement, at least for me, is a roller lock AR9 style PCC. I got a cool folding stock, so it's not a direct carryover from what we're used to seeing, the kind of like the descendants of the Colt SMG. Left side folding, which is helpful. Right side folding is fine too. I've got some well, no ambi controls, but I do have a side charging handle for my roller lock system, and I was super excited to get this one. So they opened up pre-orders. I went ahead and jumped on an SBR because I have an FFL SOT, so why get a pistol when I can get an SBR? Functionally, they're going to be the same gun if you get a pistol. I went with the gray because gray's good color, and I was super excited to get me a roller lock AR9 or AR style PCC, which shares a lot of parts commonality with the AR-15, which is one of the most popular and to me one of the most ergonomic weapons that's going to be out there. So parts commonality, manual of arms, carryover, all that stuff. Obviously upper receiver parts are going to be quite different from what you're going to get with other 9mm PCCs in the AR platform, but lower commonality triggers, controls, grips, things like that are going to be the same, which is helpful. So when it came in, went ahead and checked it out. Just giving you guys an idea of what the specifications on this thing are. I got the 5.85 inch barrel, which of course is M-LOK. You're looking at 7075 T6 aluminum upper and lower receiver. Non-ambi controls. It's supposed to lock back on empty mags, and it is patterned for the Glock magazine. During the review process, I used the KCI magazine that came with it, but I also used traditional OEM Glock Gen 4, Gen 5s, Magpul, and a Magpul drum as well. We'll get into that. And it is, of course, roller lock, which is a system which has provided traditionally very great soft shooting recoil. Everything else about the gun is just pretty standard. Like I said, there's a lot of parts commonality. It takes down in a very similar way. You can remove the stock. It's got a pick section back there so you can change it out. Or if you get a pistol brace version and you want to SBR it, you can then swap those things out. So just as far as features go, obviously with that shorter barrel, you don't get a whole lot of M-LOK real estate, but that's okay. I was able to get a weapon light on it. I was able to get my backup iron sights and then run my aim point. That side charging handle is precariously close to the muzzle. It comes with a proprietary 3-lug muzzle device. No big deal, of course, because I don't like 3-lug. I generally feel like 3-lug is a compromise of suppressor mounting rigidity for speed and access, and I think it's more of a it harkens back to 60s, 70s, and 80s when suppressors were more of a special operations, military application, secret squirrel, Cold War type stuff. Be quick attach, quick detach for concealment and carryability of the firearm. And it carried over into the civilian world because it just makes it easier to put the suppressor on, take the suppressor off. But it doesn't provide the same degree of rigidity and safety to your baffles. So if a muzzle device is 3-lug and the spec is slightly different to the can's 3-lug mounting adapter, male to female, gets a little sloppy in there and you get yourself a baffle strike. And I'm speaking from experience. I've used really high quality cans on really high quality guns, 3-lug to 3-lug, and gotten baffle strikes just because of the rate of fire. I used to have to use an MP5 professionally, and I killed 2 suppressors doing what I was told, just because it was a 3-lug mounting system. So I know people have asked, why don't you like 3-lug? That's why I don't like 3-lug. If I can direct thread a suppressor on, that's generally going to be my preferred method. But I wanted to give their muzzle device a chance. You'll notice already it's not here anymore. Because both of the 3-lug cans that I do have, I have a 3-lug adapter for my Dead Air Wolfman, and I have a 3-lug adapter for my Omega 9K. Neither of them would attach to one of them wouldn't go on at all, and the other one, I could get it on there if I basically stood on it. I don't know if it's the cans, I don't know if it's the muzzle device, but it made it easier for me to just remove the damn thing. As far as the review process goes, we're looking at 2,000 rounds. Once I got everything assembled, got the gun zeroed up, got ready to go, went ahead and just got a 500 rounds of a get to know you type period. I didn't expect any kind of break-in period. I didn't expect any problems. Roller lock is a system that I absolutely love. I just hate the fact that the most reliable gun historically that it comes in is the MP5. I do not like the MP5. Saying that, I own 3 MP5s, so I'm very familiar with roller lock, and as I said, I've had to use an MP5 professionally when I was still in law enforcement. So I'm very familiar with the gun. I just don't like it. I don't have to. And that would be a separate video that maybe I will do someday for some of you people who haven't actually heard the whole reasoning behind why I don't like it. But anyway, I'm familiar with roller lock. I'm familiar with the reliability of roller lock. I'm familiar with the particulars of roller lock under certain conditions. So I didn't want to get into suppressed use. I made sure the gun was pre-oiled before I got into things. And I shot it unsuppressed using their muzzle device, just get a feel for the gun. Ergonomics are great, forward charging handle. I would like it to sit a little further back or angle to the rear so people aren't putting their hand that close to the muzzle. I could see that potentially being an issue based on how you manipulate the gun. But I think the secondary market may come up with a concern for that, or a solution for that. And if you're going to run a suppressor, it's less of a deal because that lengthens the chance of you muzzling yourself. Other than that, I was able to, get my forward grip on there, run my stuff. Non-reciprocating charging handle, or charger cocking handle, makes it easy just to ride my thumb up there for a little bit of support. Everything went great. Tried it both ways. First 500 rounds, ergonomically were awesome. Shooting, not so much. So we began what I eventually came to refer to as Malfunction Palooza. I couldn't really think of it, and honestly, I put about 3 seconds of thought into it. I couldn't really think of a better name. This thing just doesn't want to run. And at first I thought, you know what, maybe it's the ammunition, because I'm shooting just one brand of ammunition. So throughout the review process, I ran Blazer 115, Blazer 124, Ruag 115, Ruag 124, Ruag 145 subsonic, some 165, also shot some 124, some 124 plus P, and even some 147 plus P plus that I had 50 rounds of. So I put a bunch of different rounds of ammunition, or a bunch of different types of ammunition through this 9mm PCC. And every single ammunition type experienced at least one malfunction, most of them far more than that. So even before I got to the burn down, I was having, and this is super impressive to me, you technically cannot have a double feed, the actual double feed on a chamber that is not stagger fed. So what most people, like a handgun, most people would call it a double feed. What it really is a failure to extract and attempt to feed. And a lot of submachine guns are like that feed off Glock mags, because it's a single, so only one round's fed at a time, and the chamber only has one feed ramp. So what you really have is a failure to extract and attempt to feed. But we call it a double feed, and we're all just happy with it, because it's way easier to say. I actually had a real double feed on this thing, because the chamber's large enough to get 2 bullets in there stacked on top of each other. And that happened more than once in the first 500 rounds. So I was having an existential crisis by the time I got to the burn down, because I figured if 500 rounds of just, admittedly, some fast speed shooting, just regular 500 round shooting, just to get to know you 500 rounds, what was 500 rounds as quickly as possible to be like? Well, here's your burn down. Let's see how it goes. That's a new one. That is the first time I have ever had a double feed from a single fed, non-staggered magazine. You're just all full of surprises, aren't you, little gun? Did we do it again? That's 2 attempted double feed. Whew. Doesn't like to only put 1 round in the chamber at a time. Oh. That's a new one, all right. Let's put up. Oh. You gotta be kidding me. Last mag worked. I would also like to call this things I learned on the burn down. I learned that this gun doesn't really care for any magazine you put in it to a degree of reliability. So far I've gone through 500 rounds of just get to know you, zeroing, just getting familiar with the gun. I did a 500 round burn down where I had 41 malfunctions in 500 rounds. Yeah, 41 malfunctions in 500 rounds. The next 1,000 rounds, I was like, okay, let me see if maybe there's a break-in period going on. So I shot some more unsuppressed. Still was having consistent issues where no matter the magazine type, no matter the ammunition type, I didn't find anything unsuppressed that was really going to run well. Then I decided, okay, let me go ahead and see if it functions better suppressed. Who knows? It's roller lock, maybe the gas relationship's gonna change. Maybe we're gonna get some good reliability out of this thing. So I went with 2 suppressors. I went with a CGS Mod 9K, and I went with a rugged suppressor, the Obsidian 9mm. It did not like subs or supersonics through the Mod 9. But when I put the rugged on it, and I shot 115s, ran like a sewing machine. So I'm gonna get right to it. If you're gonna buy this thing, after my 2,000 rounds of use, again, sample size of 1, but I have been looking around the internet and seeing people having very similar experiences with it. So hopefully I'm able to get this thing straightened out and fixed before I sell it, because I have absolutely no desire to keep it at this point, which sucks because I like the ergonomics. I like the design. I even like the aesthetics. I even like the gray they went with. I just don't think at this point this is going to be a reliable roller lock AR9 platform. Anyway, if you do decide to get one, go against all advice. Get a rugged Obsidian 9mm can and only shoot 115 through it, and it should run pretty good. I'm gonna keep shooting it, and then I'm gonna send it in, see if I can get it fixed, or see if there is a fix for the problem, and then I'm gonna immediately get rid of it and keep looking, you know, because I just haven't found the perfect AR9 PCC yet. Hopefully it is out there. Unfortunately, this ain't it. I'm Eric with Sage Dynamics. Train accordingly.